sticks in my head is sort of this cycle of poverty. It's so hard for people to get out of this cycle of poverty. And I see Bon Berger as an attempt to break the cycle, to sort of, you know, take it out of orbit. People much prefer a project that's solid as a beginning and end, and say, I'm going to go out and build a hospital, and yay, let's support that, let's do that. But I think we're there, we say, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to support this little doctor that's in some obscure village that's helping some people. I'm going to support him and help him some way. It's not very attractive. Why should someone from Canada care about Congo? Well, number one is we have a lot of resources. It's like we're sitting on top of a big pile of gold, and next to us there's someone that has no gold, and every once in a while we come off the pile and shave off a little shaving of a piece of gold and say, here you go. Make sure you spend it well. Hey, wait, what are you doing with that? I want you to, you know, this is kind of our sort of approach to foreign aid. And number two is that we have resources in personnel. We have educated people. They're in a hellhole, in a sense. They're in a real bad situation, and they're asking for help, and we're helping. And it's a big village. In fact, in Kinshasa, you know what's happening far sooner than you would in Abbotsford. In Abbotsford, you wouldn't know what was. If someone started doing something downtown Abbotsford, you wouldn't know till that night when you turned on the news. In Kinshasa, you'll know. It just spreads around the city. However, having said that, there's a lot of poverty and there's a lot of unrest, and you hear the stories you hear are true. You know, there's been times when you kind of wonder, you know, this is getting a bit hairy, like when there's, you know, people shooting down your street and your son's up in the treehouse trying to take a look and trying to wonder where the bullets are going to fly. Okay, those are experiences that maybe you wouldn't say are, you know, that's not the greatest. When you go to Kinshasa and people refer to it's a missionary, it's a positive word. In fact, if you want to get by, you know, because the police arrest you or something is happening, you say you're a missionary. It's just ironic that actually where the missionaries were perpetrating their evil deeds, so to speak, you know, it's not really the case. You know, people just felt back there was something positive underneath all that came across. Underneath all that culture that we don't like, there's something positive that people saw, something alive, something real. And as a result, now the Congolese church is huge. When we were out in Congo, we tried to make contact with medical students and doctors in the city. One medical student that we got to know quite well was Delphin Kapasa. Delphin got together with Pierre when they graduated and started a little clinic. But we had talked a lot, so he didn't even want me to be part of what they started at first, because he kind of thought, you know, I got to see if this is actually going to work. So they set up this clinic, and then after about a year, they said, hey, why don't you come and see what we're doing? So we followed them along, followed their vision along, and saw it grow. Yeah, well, here in Canada, of course, we have, you come into emergency and we'll treat you. That's for free, and the government pays us. Out there, there's no subsidy, there's no government subsidy, there's no other types of, there's no other area to get money except from the patient themselves. And the patients are very poor. And so they'll scramble around trying to get money from the family members and so on to try to pay for that patient's care, for family members' care. And what happens in Congo is that, you know, people are afraid they don't, the doctor's not going to get paid. So They wait for you to actually come up with the money, go buy the supplies, because they don't have, the hospital doesn't have enough money to buy supplies actually. So you have to go buy them yourself. You come in with your supplies, everything from even gauze, and then you get treated once you have all that together. Whereas they're trying to say, they're trying to treat you before you need to do that. They want to do the initial treatment and then you can pay. And that's hard for them because they're poor, and so they can't stock much.
Ça c'est notre petite pharmacie qui est, nous avons quelques petites ampoules, quelques médicaments d'urgence. Nous espérons avoir un peu plus de médicaments pour mettre même à la disposition des malades. Urgences et les parents n'ont aucun moyen. Nous ne sommes pas une clinique de l'État, on n'a aucune subvention, on n'a pas de médicaments, on donne notre science et c'est que comme on peut sauver, mais les parents doivent pouvoir payer certains services. Ils ont l'âge scolaire, mais ils ne vont pas à l'école.
So these are children. Half the population, 50% of the population is under 18 years of age in Congo. And so there's a lot of kids. And many of these kids in this neighborhood don't go to school. And this here is I guess the social ministry side of Bon Berger, and so they're repainting it and redoing it so that they can put some offices and some stuff in here, and then they'll be teaching people out in this area here.
Nous continuons à garder parce que nous voulons organiser des activités d'éducation et de développement communautaire. Il faut arriver à arrêter ce cercle vicieux qui entraîne une forte pauvreté ici.
It's not a waste of time, and we can make a difference. It's just that maybe the difference we make, we won't be put on a pedestal and they won't make a statue of us. I think the major thing is just keeping connected. I think that's what they want. They want to feel connected with us. They have felt so disconnected with the rest of the world out there, lost in their little corner, and no one knows about them or sees them.
Et effectivement, on se rend compte que nous ne sommes pas seuls dans ce travail, nous sommes entourés de beaucoup de frères et de sœurs ici, mais aussi à l'Amérique du Nord.
I don't want to kind of kneel down in front of everybody and plead for their money to help Bon Berger. They do need money, but I don't want to do that. I'd rather say, here's an opportunity for you to be involved.
Mais nous espérons que les conditions vont de plus en plus s'améliorer. Nous sommes très confiants au Seigneur.
These are things that are making a difference in that small little community that no one reports on. It's hard to get to. There's no vehicles that can drive into it. It's the middle of the city. You can't drive in there. You got to tromp over all this garbage and so on to get there. And they're making a difference there. There are kids that would have died of malaria that have not died now. They are alive now.
What makes you want to do this?
Je crois que ce qui nous encourage le plus, c'est l'appréciation de la population vis-à-vis du travail que nous faisons. Et depuis que nous avons commencé, de plus en plus le Seigneur nous appelle à le servir, et simplement à le servir, parfois à s'oublier nous-mêmes pour penser de plus en plus aux autres et surtout à cette population. C'est avec beaucoup de passion et de joie maintenant que nous continuons, nous faisons ce travail. La joie ici, c'est que parfois on a besoin de très peu de moyens pour arriver à sauver toute une vie.
I think the change comes right down the roots, right in that village community where those poor people, that impoverished population, starts to change. They become healthier. They start thinking more about the future. Delphin, Pierre, and some of the nurses, they exude the message of the gospel. And people begin to think beyond the day, start thinking about each other, start having confidence in one another. As that changes, then you will see society change there.